basketball arena has a very distinct, unmistakable atmosphere when a team is completely out of rhythm. You can notice it in the players' body language, hear it in the quiet murmurs of the crowd, and see it in the slow, mechanical way the ball moves around the court. During the opening 3 minutes of the United States national team's game against Italy, that exact sense of offensive stagnation filled the arena like a heavy fog. It looked as if some of the best women's basketball players in the world were suddenly ordinary, struggling to establish any kind of flow against a defense they would normally be expected to break apart. The scoreboard showed 5-5. Only 5 points in 3 minutes for a team known for its offensive dominance. It was a sluggish and concerning start that made many viewers wonder the same thing. How long would Team USA continue experimenting with this starting lineup? For some time, the basketball establishment has tried to promote a certain narrative. The idea is that experience automatically guarantees success, that a slower, traditional half-court style is the safest strategy in international competition, and that Caitlin Clark should wait behind more established veterans. But against Italy, that narrative seemed to unravel right before everyone's eyes. The traditional starting lineup was tested, and it wasn't working. The offense lacked energy and movement. Chelsea Gray, an outstanding and highly respected floor general, was leading an offensive system that felt too slow and too predictable, without the kind of explosive unpredictability needed to break through Italy's defensive structure. The game was beginning to slow into a rough, low-scoring battle where every possession felt heavy and difficult. Then, on the Team USA sideline, a moment of clarity arrived. With head coach Kara Lawson away handling her college responsibilities during NCAA March Madness, assistant coach Nate Tibbetts was in charge. Looking at an offense that had stalled and a scoreboard barely moving, Tibbetts made a decisive choice. He set aside the usual hierarchy and concerns about roles. Just 3 minutes into the first quarter, he looked down the bench and called on number 22. What followed was more than a simple shift in momentum. It was a complete takeover of the game. When Caitlin Clark stepped onto the court, Team USA had only 5 points. Over the next 6.5 minutes of the first quarter, with Clark running the offense, the team exploded for 23 points. The contrast was striking. 5 points in the first 3 minutes without her, and 23 points in the next 6.5 with her directing the play. The offense didn't just get better, it transformed entirely. As soon as Clark took control of the ball, the spacing of the court changed dramatically. Italian defenders, who had been comfortable packing the paint and guarding passing lanes early in the game, suddenly had to extend their defense far beyond the arc. Clark's deep shooting range forced them to pressure nearly 30 feet from the basket. The moment they pushed their defense outward, openings began to appear everywhere. With the defense stretched thin, Team USA's offense started moving with speed and precision, turning into a fast, coordinated attack that was extremely difficult for Italy to stop. 26,034.
Let's get this going. Let me just, misdirection, backdoor, take it to the rack, layup. Folks, look at the score actually. 5-5. We only scored 5 points in the first 3 minutes of this game.
Consider the brilliance of this particular possession. It perfectly illustrates what people mean when they say a player can completely transform how an offense operates. Caitlin Clark controls the ball, and every defender's attention is locked onto her. They're expecting the deep three. They're ready for a pick and roll. Instead, Clark uses clever misdirection. With a subtle look and body movement, she shifts the defense just enough to create a tiny opening along the baseline. A perfectly timed backdoor cut follows, and Clark threads a precise pass that slips past the defensive rotation. The result is a simple, high-percentage layup at the rim. This isn't merely passing to someone who happens to be open. It's the deliberate manipulation of the defense to force them into giving up the easiest shot in basketball. In that moment, Clark is essentially playing chess while the defense is reacting a step behind. Yet the most revealing part of the game came later, when Clark returned to the bench. During the second and third quarters, the coaching staff went back to its usual rotation patterns. Their primary catalyst sat down, likely for rest, but the effect on the court was immediate and noticeable. Without Clark's presence stretching the floor, the Italian defense tightened up. Passing lanes shrank. Fast break opportunities disappeared. What replaced them were slow possessions ending with difficult, contested jump shots late in the shot clock. The offense began to resemble the stagnant play seen during the opening minutes. The numbers told the same story. During those middle quarters, with Clark off the floor, Team USA managed to outscore Italy by only 7 points combined. Every basket required effort. Every possession felt like a struggle. It was the kind of performance that can leave even a talented team vulnerable to an upset in international competition. Instead of a smooth offensive system, the team looked dependent on individual plays to create scoring chances.
But, go behind the back here. In between the legs. Let me stop, hold on. Turn around. Fade away. In your face. Eat that.
If anyone still questions her ability to break down elite international defenders one-on-one, this particular sequence answers that doubt immediately. Critics often argue that Caitlin Clark relies too heavily on the three-point shot or that she lacks the tight ball-handling skills expected from a traditional point guard. This play completely challenges that idea. Clark isolates on the perimeter. She begins with a sharp behind-the-back dribble that halts the defender's momentum. Without hesitation, she flows into a between-the-legs dribble to reset her balance and rhythm. Then she stops instantly, rises up, and hits a turnaround fadeaway jumper directly over the defender. The details make the play impressive. Her footwork is clean and controlled. The shooting mechanics are precise. The release is quick enough that even strong defensive positioning can't prevent the shot. It's the type of move that can frustrate a defender because, even when the defense does everything correctly, the result is still 2 points. Moments like this highlight that Clark isn't only a long-range shooter, she's a versatile scoring threat capable of creating her own shot in multiple ways. However, the fourth quarter wasn't only about individual scoring. It also showed how the team's chemistry was developing and pushed back against the online narratives suggesting tension between players. There has been constant discussion on social media claiming friction between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, with clips and reactions analyzed repeatedly to suggest rivalry or conflict. But the game footage from that fourth quarter told a different story. On the court, the focus was on teamwork, shared possessions, and making the right basketball plays. Evidence that competition and collaboration can coexist at the highest level of the sport.
She sets a nice free up some space. Step back, signature Caitlin Clark 3 with the step back going left. Angel Reese actually excited about it, if you can believe it. If you can believe it, look at all that space. Pull up, bang, to end the quarter. Now Angel Reese bricks.
Now look at the unselfish teamwork displayed in this sequence. Angel Reese, the same player some online discussions claim struggles to coexist with Caitlin Clark, sets a strong, physical screen on the perimeter. The pick completely removes the defender from the play, doing the difficult physical work that creates space for the offense. Clark immediately takes advantage of that opening. Using her signature step-back move, she fades to her left, creates significant separation, and launches a deep shot from well beyond the arc. The ball drops cleanly through the net, and Reese reacts with visible excitement, celebrating the play. Moments like this reflect how effective basketball is played at a high level. Different skills combining to produce a powerful collective result. Reese brings physicality and screening strength, while Clark provides long-range shooting and playmaking. When players with complementary abilities work together, whether through pick and rolls or dribble handoff actions, the offense becomes far more difficult for defenses to contain. The fourth quarter also highlighted another major factor: transition offense. After a defensive rebound, there is only a brief window, often just a couple of seconds, when the opposing defense is not fully organized. If a team slows down and walks the ball up the court, that opportunity disappears quickly. However, when the ball is pushed forward immediately with speed, the fast break becomes a major scoring weapon. Quick decision-making and rapid movement can catch defenders out of position, turning defensive stops into high-quality scoring chances before the defense has time to reset.
There she is. Gives Caitlin Clark the ball. Caitlin Clark pushing it. Paige already up the... Oh, look at the threading the needle. Sweet. Oh, in between two defenders. Pass was so good that defender almost fell over. Look at that. Pass so good. Up, stump.
Watch how this play develops. Kiki Iriefan battles through heavy traffic and secures a strong defensive rebound. What makes the sequence special, though, is what she does immediately afterward. Instead of dribbling or trying to advance the ball herself, she quickly looks for her point guard and delivers a clean outlet pass. The moment the ball reaches Caitlin Clark, the Italian defense is already under pressure. Paige Buchers, showing excellent court awareness, instantly recognizes the opportunity and sprints down the floor toward the basket. Clark pushes the ball forward at high speed while reading the retreating defense. Buchers is racing toward the rim, but two Italian defenders appear to be positioned directly in the passing lane. For most point guards, that lane would look closed, leading them to slow down and reset the offense. Clark sees it differently. She fires a fast, sharply placed pass through the narrow gap. The ball travels with such pace and accuracy that a defender scrambling to intercept it nearly loses balance in the attempt. The pass reaches Buchers perfectly in stride, allowing her to finish easily at the basket. When players like Clark and Buchers share the floor, their combination of vision, speed, and spacing can make the offense appear effortless. Quick decision-making and precise execution turn transition opportunities into high-quality scoring chances. The contrast in this game was striking. The slower, grinding style seen during parts of the second and third quarters gave way to a much more fluid and energetic offense in the first and fourth quarters. Much of that change coincided with Clark's presence directing the pace and flow of the attack. Looking at the box score afterward highlighted just how significant the difference was. The statistical output from those stretches of play showed a clear shift in offensive efficiency and scoring production. Caitlin Clark finished the game with 12 points and 5 assists, along with an astonishing 102% true shooting percentage. In modern basketball analytics, true shooting percentage is designed to measure overall scoring efficiency by combining field goals, three-pointers, and free throws into a single metric. Reaching a number above 100% is extremely rare and indicates near-perfect scoring efficiency during the possessions a player used. In simple terms, it means almost every scoring opportunity she took resulted in maximum value for the offense. Each shot, each touch, and each possession produced highly efficient outcomes. However, the statistic that stood out most in evaluating the team's performance was the plus-minus rating. Clark finished the game with a team-best plus 25. That figure reflects the point difference while a player is on the court compared with when they are off it. To understand its significance, consider the context of the game. During the middle portions, when the competition remained close, the stretches with Clark on the floor produced a large scoring advantage for Team USA. In the first quarter, after she entered early, the team surged to 28 points. Later, when she was on the court again to close the fourth quarter, the offense generated another strong scoring run with 24 points. By contrast, when she sat out, the offense appeared much less fluid and struggled to generate the same level of scoring rhythm. The difference between those stretches made the impact of her presence very noticeable. Because of that contrast, the game intensified ongoing discussions about lineup decisions and rotation strategies for Team USA. Performances like this naturally raise questions about how to best structure the lineup to maximize offensive efficiency and maintain momentum throughout the game. A player producing a 102% true shooting percentage and a plus 25 plus-minus impact is demonstrating extraordinary efficiency and influence on the game. When a player's presence clearly accelerates the offense and dramatically improves scoring output, it naturally raises questions about lineup decisions and how the team should structure its rotations. In this game, Caitlin Clark appeared to provide a major spark when she entered the lineup. The offensive pace increased, spacing improved, and the team generated points far more quickly than during stretches when she was off the floor. Performances like that often strengthen the argument for giving a player more responsibility or a larger role within the system. Assistant coach Nate Tibbetts made an early adjustment in the first quarter by bringing Clark into the game, which helped shift the momentum. Situations like this are common in basketball. Coaches constantly evaluate whether the current lineup is producing enough offensive rhythm or if a change is needed to create energy and scoring opportunities. The broader discussion, however, is about strategy. National teams often balance several factors when building lineups: experience, chemistry, defensive matchups, and long-term tournament management. Veteran players can bring leadership and stability, while younger or more dynamic players may inject pace and offensive creativity. Because of that balance, debates about starting roles are common, especially when a high-impact performance draws attention to how effective a particular lineup combination can be. Games like this contribute to the ongoing conversation about how United States women's national basketball team should optimize its rotations as international competition continues to become stronger. Ultimately, coaching staffs typically evaluate a large sample of games, matchups, and player roles before making permanent lineup decisions. But performances that significantly shift momentum,